really make a statement today as Magnus, the umpire, holds the ball aloft. And away we go on 88.9 Wyn FM, Tarneit v Laverton Division 3 football, and an early possession there for Thornton, who bangs the Titans up towards half forward, looking for an early start here, looking for an early goal. It's Benek who kicks around the body up to the goal square, comes off hands, and a snap, and an early behind there for the Titans. It was kicked by Alex Rose, who's their top scorer for the season. He's got 7 goals, and it's an early behind here for the Titans. Gone 30 seconds. And from the kick in, the Magpies work it to half-back, and Rollison's got it. He goes up the outer wing now. It's a wide ground here at Tarneit, and the kick is wider still and out of play. It was a young Najok who was chasing after it there. Big Sudanese boy with the long sleeves and even longer legs. There's a few big units out there in the ruck. One of those big units was Taylor, who took it straight out of the ruck for the Titans, but then kicked it straight out of bounds on the full.
Good opportunity here for Laverton early in the game just to take advantage. Obviously did well moving the ball from defence to the wing before it went out of bounds in quick succession, but now have the free kick pretty much on centre wing between both benches. So a good opportunity for them to take their first foray forward.
And they work their way forward here. It's Burgess who's taken the mark. His bald head glistening in the sunshine. And he goes long up inside the 50. The Magpies looking for an early goal. It comes off the back of the pack. Taylor, the big ruckman, an unlikely rover. He brushes off a tackle. He's built like a 44-gallon drum. It's hard to tackle him. Ball still in dispute deep in defence as the effects mic comes on. Thanks very much, Peter White. And now a kick away by Nawi. Nawi, who was good last week for the Titans, not good here. His kick has been marked by Najok, who sends it long back inside 50 for Laverton. Good start this by the visitors. They've got it up towards half forward at the club room's end, and putting his nose over the top of it there and not winning a free kick was Ekbal.
Looked like he copped one high. He certainly went down as if he'd been hit in the head, but umpire might have been blindsided and just missed that one there.
Surab, or Rob Ekbal, one of the late-ins for Laverton. From the ruck, it comes down towards Vorbak, around the body towards goal. It's right on the goal mouth. The Titans back in numbers, and a clearing kick is marked by Taylor, the ruckman, on half-back. Still no score for Laverton. Tarneit one behind as Taylor's kick right in front of us here is marked by Rose, who's come up the ground. He's on centre wing right in front of our broadcast position. He prods it to the wing to no one in particular. Comes off hands now, and it's picked up by Braden May. Braden May, the journalist. He's going to be written about rather than doing the writing here this afternoon. Not with that kick though, as it's mopped up now by Chol. Ubal Chol for Laverton. Kick up towards the half-forward flank. Coming out to meet it was Jenkins. He slapped it forward into the pocket. There's a contest for the ball deep in the forward pocket. Laverton looking for their early score. They can't get one here as it's bustled out of play for a throw-in in the left forward pocket at the club room's end, about 25 out from goal.
Good job there by Laverton. They're just bringing up their half-backs, particularly the centre half-back in Ayang Najok, doing a really good job just intercepting and stopping all forays forward for Tarneit.
Boundary throw-in, and Taylor took it straight out of the ruck and then shoveled a handball towards the captain Stone. Through heavy traffic, he helped it over towards Sedukas, and they work it to half-back, and Benek has taken the mark. Benek plays on. Long kick up into the centre of the ground. Camped underneath it was May. Couldn't take the mark. Ends up on the cricket pitch with the sand. He probably has sand in his eyes. The Laverton players have it though. Over the top of it there is Samakovic, the captain, trying to bustle his way through. Plenty of tough tackling in the middle of the ground. It's a scrappy contest at the moment as the ball spills out towards the half-forward flank. Chol will be first there for the Magpies. Noe right on his hammer for the Titans, and they both see it out of play about 50 metres out. On the outer side of the ground, we've gone 4 minutes. One behind Tarneit, yet to score Laverton.
It's a scrappy contest, as you said, Cade, but both teams really trying to have a go of it, not wasting any time and just trying to push forward when they do have the ball.
From the boundary throw-in, and it's Burgess bustling through, couldn't get boot to ball, and now there's a free kick paid, and it's going the way of the Titans on half-back. And And the short pass is marked by Thornton, Zach Thornton.
Good job there, because there wasn't too many targets up forward of the ground.
Thornton goes short, finds Binek, now sends it back to the running Thornton, and they're away here, the Titans. Thornton's kick up inside an open 50, bouncing football, and trying to latch onto it there was Sudokus, kick towards the goal square, but he's turned it over, and a mark deep in defence for Laverton, and they turn it over themselves. Poor kick out of defence, and the mark taken here for the Titans about 50 metres out from goal, and they're going to have a shot.
Both teams got a few mistakes in them already, and just you imagine the team that takes advantage of that first and more often will be the victor today, because they've already made both mistakes going forward.
It's Aaron Campbell who has the shot. He gets well underneath it. It will go nowhere near the goals. It mightn't even score. It's up against the point post. All hands at the pump there for Laverton, trying to prevent a score. There's a real wrestle for the ball in the goal square. It resembles a rugby scrum, and eventually the umpire will have to come and sort them out with a bounce right at the goal mouth for Tarneit, who lead by a point. 1 point to Laverton yet to score. Ball up, and Najok won it down. He's probably a metre taller than everyone else, and eventually they get it clear through Sudokus. Through Semenovic, the skipper. Kick out towards half back. Contest for the ball out there, and Laverton will eventually try and work it away. Good tackle laid, and a whistle now from the umpire.
Just taken high in that tackling contest.
DiMartino. So a free kick here for Vojo. Vojo of Laverton. Into the centre of the ground, he finds Chol, who's been prominent early on. He chips and finds Najok, who's come up the ground. Tall and lanky, he chips it out wide. And Iqbal, the ball won't sit for him. He gathers now, he dodges an opponent. He has to get rid of it quickly. Up towards half forward in front. Tarneit bring it to ground. Good contest right in front of us here, and the umpire's found a free kick. And it goes the way of Dunstan. He goes short, picks out Chapman. Across half back, now towards Killander. Starting to dominate the footy of the Titans. Killander kicks out wide towards Delector. Up the outer side of Wooten Road Reserve, a long ball towards half forward, but Burgess back there, and he takes the mark for the Magpies.
Plenty of space on offer for both teams. As I said before, really attacking from both teams, just not quite getting the execution right when trying to push the ball forward.
Ball up towards half forward now for Laverton, as running onto it here is Najok. He gathers, he screws it inboard, bouncing football. Almost marking it there was Pasquale. He couldn't do so for the Titans. A big contest at half back, and he's turned it over. Laverton have it again. They go inside 50. Almost a mark there to Semakovic. He plays on, he snaps around the body, and he snaps around the goals. He's missed everything. No, he hasn't. He's got a behind. First score of the afternoon for the visitors. It's 1 point apiece. We've gone nearly 8 minutes. WRFL match of the day.
Really have to make the most of that opportunity. Laverton, first real good opportunity for both teams really in front of goals. Just needed to take an extra step or two, take a bounce with the ball and compose yourself, because you're not going to get too many better opportunities in front of goal today.
From the kick in, they work it around Tarneit, and now it's DePetro who's got it, still in defensive 50. DePetro, he prods it short to half back. And a mark taken there by Stone, the captain. He goes short and finds Norby, two of their prime movers in the midfield. He was good last week, Norby, in their loss. As he goes short and finds Curtis. Curtis works it now towards the broadcast wing, bouncing football. Will it sit in front of Misfoot? It does. And now he sends a long left footer up inside 50. They're on here, Tarneit. The ball sits for Greenwood. Greenwood in the pocket, has an angle, tries to thread the Ivan Needle across goal. It goes. Mark almost taken there by Sudokus. He goes back to the opposite pocket to try and gather. The Magpies arrive in numbers to block it up. Good tackle there by Sudokus, following up. Now Najok under pressure. Eventually they get it away, the Magpies, as Arch in the back and having a run as Burgess. He goes short, and mark taken on centre wing by Dallas.
Dallas Anderson there with a good mark. Both teams really just looking to push the ball forward, but they get it to that half forward 50 and they just make poor decisions or kick straight to the opposition.
Dallas Anderson's kick was poor, Simic marked, and now Binek has got it for Tarneit. Up towards half forward, Slews off the side of the boot, not a great kick, having to go back and gather as Hobson across the body, bouncing football up inside the 50. Laverton back in numbers, can't gather the football cleanly, it's in the forward pocket, ball spills out, and now it's picked up by Rollison under pressure, just puts the boot through it. Up towards half forward, bouncing football. And almost overrunning it there was Braden May. Is he caught high? He's not. He fumbled a handball out. They're working overtime in defence now as DePetro got a kick away for the Titans. And it's marked by Simic. Goes short to Norway and they reload again. It's end-to-end stuff here early on. Norway up the outer wing. Najok almost intercepted. Couldn't take the mark. Got a handball away. It's close to the boundary on the outer side between the benches of both teams as Najok gathers, does well for a big man, but then he lets himself down with a poor kick, and Simic marks on just behind centre wing outer side.
I think both teams would be calling timeouts right now as there is another turnover, this time Laverton taking the intercept mark.
It is turnover city. Rollison's marked here for Laverton. His kick is a poor one. What do you reckon? It's a turnover. Taylor tried to gather. He handed it over. Burgess now for Laverton. Can he find a teammate? It clears the pack. It bounces all the way to the back. Mulroy will be first there. Gathers in the pocket. Hooks it across the body to the goal square. Pasqua up there. Couldn't take the mark. A shot out of the pack towards goal for Laverton, and they've got it. They've got there first. It's Caleb Patterson who's kicked it.
Get in there.
And it's the first of the afternoon to the visitors. They hit the front. 1-1-7 to Tarneit, 1 point.
Great job there from Caleb Patterson, who's reading the ball really well when they hit the deck and taking the snap from about 25 metres out. Had a bit of pressure on his backside, but shook it off and kicked the first goal of the afternoon. With the way the game's gone, I thought it might have resulted in another turnover, because that seemingly how the previous 30 seconds or so had gone. It had been turnover. But no, it was Laverton and Caleb Patterson with the first of the afternoon. Probably a settler for both teams, because it's been real end-to-end stuff, and probably the first real break both teams have had in play, besides a couple of bouncy throw-ins.
Well, it probably wasn't a turnover there because he was kicking for goal, not for a teammate.
Well, that's the way the game's gone. Even kicking for goal, I wouldn't have been surprised if it did result in a turnover, just given the previous passage of play there.
Paul DiMartino, balls up in the centre of the ground. We're underway again. May, the unlikely ruckman for the Titans, but he can't get it clear, and Laverton have got it again here through Izzard. Not sure if he's a relation to Alan Izzard, the former bomber, but he's playing for the Magpies now, and he hands it to Anderson, Dallas Anderson. Kick up towards half forward for Laverton. Coming out to meet it was Misfoot on his bike. Ball bouncing in front of him. He's got a couple of Magpies on his backside. He does well to keep his feet though, Misfoot. Dinky kick up the wing and picked up now by DePetro, and they're away, the Titans. Floating kick towards half forward, and it's marked there by Sedukas. A kick and a half from home. Goes long up inside the 50. Taylor, who played in ruck, couldn't take the mark, but at the back, running into an open goal and levelling the scores for the Titans is Thornton. Zach Thornton kicks there first, and it's 1-1-7 apiece here at Wooden Road Reserve. 12.5 minutes gone.
Unfortunately for Laverton, a bit of a calamity. It was a 2-on-1 in their favour in the defensive 50. Just couldn't cleanly dispose of the ball or spoil it out of play. And then Zach Thornton, the recipient, just running through the contest out the back as clean as you like. Took a bounce rather, and then kicked the goal into the open goal square for his first of the afternoon to draw the game level once again. And both teams having really good opportunities going forward, just can't quite get it right inside forward 50, but in that case it was Thornton who took advantage of a mistake by the Laverton defence.
Not high quality, but entertaining so far between the Titans and the Magpies. From the ball up, May was beaten in the ruck, but he laid a tackle and forced another ball up right on the sand in the centre of the ground on top of the synthetic pitch. In ruck there was Jenkins, I think, for Laverton. Kick out of the pack up towards half forward. Almost topping it on there was Samakovic, the captain. Now it's towards Burgess, who's been important. He's got nowhere to go here, though, Burgess. He runs into a tackle, and he's lucky to not be holding the ball.
He was, actually.
In fact, he was holding the ball. Thank you, Connor. Free kick to Binek for the Titans, who, guess what, looks as though he's turned it over. And the mark taken there by Vorbak. Vorbak now towards Rollison. Long left footer up inside the 50, looking for another one here. The Magpies, the Titans spoil each other. Comes down towards Ekbal. He's well tackled. Ball spills out. Burgess there again. Takes too long. He's caught from behind. Braden May got him, and that is a textbook holding the ball on half-back for the Titans.
Actually, Anthony Curtis on that one, but a great tackle. A little bit lucky not to give away the free kick in the back, but I think because the Laverton players' knees hit the ground first, I think he got away with it.
Didn't matter who got the hold in the ball because Titans didn't do anything with it, and it's out of play for a throw-in. on half-back.
Unfortunately, so Steve Parker, the assistant coach and acting senior coach today for Tarneit, mentioned that they want to win the midfield battle. I'd say they're probably doing that so far. It's just when they get to that half-forward range, everything's being chopped off by Ayang the Jock.
Boundary throw in, they win the midfield here. The Titans, Binek, who's been busy, gets a kick up the outer wing, bouncing and rolling and eventually going out of play. Just to the right of the Laverton bench on the outer side of Wooden Road Reserve, which is a pretty wide ground. I've got to get the binoculars to see out there, Connor.
I've got my glasses on, I can still barely see, it's that far away.
Boundary throw in. Westwick in ruck for Laverton, had the better of the tap. Doing the roving though is Chol. He does well, swivels the hips, then stuffs up the bounce, but regathers. Handball now towards Rollison, steps around one, or just gets out of another tackle. Now gets boot to ball up towards half forward. Plenty of Titans back there, they can't mark. Ball open in the 50. Can Laverton get a handle on the football? They can't, under pressure. Stone got it back now to Chapman, and he recovers and he goes short to half back, and the mark taken by Campbell. They take a breath here, the Titans. Campbell, risky kick, but it comes off. Simic is marked. Still in centre half back. He offloads now towards Hobson. Hobson touches it on the turf. Not sure what to do. Dinks a kick into the centre of the ground, and making it look good was Jacob Williams. His first touch of the football. Offloads by hand, back to the running Hobson. Through the corridor, up in the Sudokus direction. Couldn't take the mark. They run onto the loose footy here, the Titans. Sudokus tries to slap it in the pocket, and now it's picked up and dribbled towards goal by Greenwood. It bounces towards goal. I think it's gone through. It has. It might have bounced right over the top of the defender, who was Najok, who's probably the tallest player on the ground. The bounce went over the top of him and through for a second Tarneit goal.
Bit unlucky there for the Magpies, because he did actually get a hand to it, but obviously the umpires called it as over the line. He had a good jump at it and did slap it through, but obviously from our angle it'd be impossible for us to tell where the ball crossed the line, but the goal umpire was pretty secure in his decision and called a goal straight away, so almost against the run of play there, just knocking the ball forward where Tarneit and just really taking the game on, and their second goal for the afternoon to retake the lead.
Won't feature in many highlights packages, that goal, but it won't matter for Tarneit. They're in front for the first time today, leading by 6 points. 2-1 to 1-1.
I think there might have been a 666 warning there as the umpire just blew his whistle, and there's a player for Tarneit running back to position.
Okay, well, we're underway again now. 17 minutes gone in the first term. Early lead here for Tarneit. It's a competitive game. Norway gathered at ground level from the restart to Hobson, whose kick wasn't great. Clean bowls a couple, spills out towards the wing where Chol gathers. He's been excellent so far. And now they send it up the outer wing with a helicopter punt to Laverton. They can't find a teammate. That's been a theme of the game. And it's Norby who gathers. Gives the don't argue to one. His handball was smothered. He gathers again, but this time he's gathered in a tackle, Norby, as the Magpies swoop on him like a redhead on a spring afternoon in Melbourne. And there's a ball up on the centre wing on the outer side, like you, Connor.
Yes, exactly. I'm a redhead, so I better watch out for these Magpies if I go onto the field.
From the restart, and the Magpies do have it, and it comes out of the pack, and it's Rollison again with a long high kick. A big fly by Curtis. He went a bit too early, and the mark is eventually taken by Suzaka. Suzaka for Laverton, inside 50. Pascal is the target. Mulroy off the pack, couldn't gather cleanly. Simic there for the Titans. His handball was poor. Ekbal chopped it off, and he goes inboard and finds a teammate. And they will have a shot on goal here. It's Samakovic, the captain, who's got it, and he will line up to level the scores.
Not quite sure what the Tarneit defender was doing there. Obviously he was facing a bit of pressure and just tried to alleviate that with the handball, but it's a handball to nobody on his team and to straighten down the throats of two Laverton attackers. Dejan Samakovic from 48 metres directly in front. He gives the goal umpire some work to do, but not enough. It's a goal, and we are all square again. It's a good contest here on the WRFL Match of the Day, nearing
Time on in the first quarter. It is 2-1, 13 apiece between Tarneit and Laverton. Cade Lucas and Connor Payne with you. WRFL Match of the Day, 88.9 Wyn FM, 90.1 if you're in the ground, and cheerio to Brent Sheehan, the Tarneit coach, listening in with COVID.
It might be a little bit too early to call that a captain's goal, but a good goal nonetheless from the Laverton captain there, just taking advantage of a poor decision by the Tarneit defender who tried to evade some pressure with a loose handball that went straight down the throat of a Laverton player who kicked into the centre of the 50 to his captain, who kicked truly for his first of the afternoon.
Ball up, Najok and Taylor. Najok won it down, he barely had to jump, and it's up towards Semakovic, who gathers and offloads to a running teammate. It was Matthews. His kick goes inside 50. Pasqua arriving now to Mulroy. The Titans back in numbers. Through the congestion, they get a kick towards the goal square, the Magpies, but back there is Simic, who is crunched as he got a kick away. Hobson arrives, handball straight to an opponent in Najok, now towards Ekbal, wheels around on the 50, kick towards Pasqua, couldn't quite complete the mark. They're working overtime, the Titans' defence. Handball away by Curtis, now towards Norway. He's corralled there by Chol, who does well. Norway and Chol. Norway wins the ball back. Handball goes nowhere though. They've still got it Laverton on half forward. And leaving it behind there was Semakovic. A pack forms, the umpire hovering, letting it go. And eventually a ferocious passage of play comes to an end, and there's a ball up.
Even though both teams quite haven't been at the level in terms of decision making and execution, you can't fault the effort from both teams. It's basically been a non-stop game and constantly trying to attack when they do have the ball and pressuring the other team when they don't.
Najok toe poked it out of the ruck, and now a running shot on goal for Laverton is just across the face. Yes, he won it down and then toe poked it forward. Najok, he didn't actually, win the tap with his foot. But either way, it is a point there to Laverton, who do get their noses in front by that margin.
I believe that was to Jesse Rollinson for that one, who had a good shot at goal, just couldn't quite steer it home.
From the kick-in, mark taken by Thornton for the Titans, one of their goal scorers, former Werribee player. Still in defensive 50. Into time on in the first term, nearly 22 minutes gone. And the mark taken in front of us here by Chapman for the Titans. He goes up the near side wing, and Binek dropped a sitter. And picking up the loose crumbs here, under pressure is Campbell, hooks it across the body, a wobbly kick to half back. Great mark, Najok. Those telescopic arms, he is like Inspector Gadget, and he clunked that one on centre half back, and it's a 50.
Incorrect disposal back to the marking play there from the Tarneit defender. Just didn't need to do it. I think he was a bit miffed by the mark being paid, and it's resulted in a 50-metre penalty. Najok
doesn't take the 50. He probably only ran 25 but before he kicked, and he found Vorbak who's taken the mark, and he's probably 55 metres out. Another player in long sleeves. He's backing himself from the distance. A bit of a Nick Dacos lookalike, and he's anything like the lookalike. He probably dobbed this from, as you said, Kate, about 50. Right half forward flank, about 55 out. Left foot, long kick. Is it straight enough? Pasqua on the line. 2 grabs, and then he missed the ball with his foot. And the Bronx cheers from the Tarneit supporters. The ball's still in play, though. They get it away, the Titans. Braden Maters banged it onto the boot, cleared the danger. And Anthony Pasqua must be thankful that this game isn't being filmed, because that was a bit of a blooper. I don't think he'll be letting that one die down his teammates anyway for quite a while, because that's probably the worst miss I've seen from the closest distance. Just needed to get literally a toe on it and couldn't even manage to do that. I think he just tried to rush it, and just when he could have just taken all the time in the world and kicked for the easiest goal he'll ever kick, but wasn't able to. Shades of Malcolm Blight and Percy Jones, who famously did that many years ago, as from the throw-in, a tackle is laid, and Paul DiMartino is right there and says holding the ball. Free kick to Tarneit through their captain, Stone. Quarter time can't be far away. Not many goals kicked as Stone goes backwards to Masood. Still in the right back pocket rather for the Titans, and a whistle is blown here. Mark was taken close to the boundary. I think the field umpire might be calling for a throw-in, but no, the mark's been paid. Mark has been paid, so it's De Petro. Goes short, and Binek tried to mark. He leapt up, was interfered with, so he gets a free kick. Binek, who's been one of Tarneit's best in this first term. He goes back and across to Misfoot. Misfoot deep in defence. He's got options out wide on the commentary side of the ground. One of them there is Ethan Caithless, sorry. They work it up the near side here. Ball bouncing in front of Braden Mayer, just hacks it out of the air, gets it forward, up inside the forward pocket. Not many options there for Tarneit though. The Magpies are first there through Zuzak, wheeling and dealing in the back pocket. He now arches the back and runs his full measure, kicks to half back and finds a teammate in Matthews. Didn't take the mark. Problems here for Laverton. Arriving there under pressure was Partridge.
He's turned it over straight away, just straight down the throat of a Tarneit attacker there. Don't know quite what he saw, but similar to the goal that Laverton kicked earlier, straight down the throat of Alex Rose, who will line up for his first of the afternoon after missing a shot earlier in the quarter.
Their jumpers look nothing alike, so I don't know why there's so many turnovers, but Partridge sent it straight to Rose, who's kicked 7 for the year, is their leading goal kicker. You can go to 8 here and put them back in front, directly in front, 35 out. He celebrates as the ball goes over the goal umpire's cap at the Hogan's Road end. And Laverton take the lead again. They're 3-1-19, leading, Tarneit. 3-1-19, leading Laverton 2-2-14. We've gone 25 minutes on the WRFL Match of the Day. First term, Laverton and Tarneit.
A great job there, ending up in the goal for Rose. The pressure from Tarneit across the ground, and particularly at half forward, causing the turnover, was impressive. And both teams have really been good in bringing that pressure, inviting the mistakes from the other team. A little bit of help from either side in those mistakes, but nonetheless, the pressure has been really good. And there's going to be some sore bodies for the rest of the afternoon and tomorrow, but I'm hoping that both teams can keep up this pressure.
5-point lead for the home team as Najok jumped all over the top of Curtis at the ruck, but Curtis gathered at ground level, then kicked up inside the 50, looking for a late goal here. Loose footy picked up by Williams for Tarneit. Now in the forward pocket, they're messing around with it the home side. The ball comes back towards Hobson, who gathers at half back. His handball goes nowhere. The Magpies will eventually clear it, and they do. Out to the outer wing where Charles got it. He chips forward. Ball sits in front of Vojo under pressure. He's got 2 Titans around him, and he dances past them. Handball backward. Najoka's there, caught in a tackle. Handball away, but not in time. Incorrect disposal, said the umpire. Free kick to Tarneit.
Probably his first mistake of the afternoon, unfortunately. He's been awesome for Laverton, and I just wonder if they'll move Najok or Chol forward of the ball with the quarter time siren goes, but you can see both teams really trying to take the game on.
Okay, second quarter underway at Wootton Road Reserve, and the ruck is won by Laverton, who are going towards the Hogan's Road end in this second term, and they get a free kick here, and it's Chol who will take it. Off a standing start, goes short, too short to Pascoe, who couldn't bend down to pick up the ball. And now it's socketed away by Campbell for the Titans. Picked up by Curtis, back towards the running Campbell. Inside an open 50, and running onto the ball here is Greenwood, who's already kicked 1. And he won't kick a second as he misses from dead in front.
Got to put that through. Greenwood had a guy on the goal line, he was wide open, another guy running into the open goal, and himself basically running into an open goal, but just couldn't kick truly.
You could hear the groans from the Tarneit supporters there. That should have been another goal from the kick-in. Mark taken by Joffre for Laverton. On half-back, they almost mess it up. Jenkins has got it under pressure. He's tackled. He has Killender from the Titans all over him, and they turn it over. It's Killender who's got it on half-forward. By hand now to Campbell. Kick around the body. Bouncing up inside the 50. Looking for a fast start here, Tarneit. Slung around in the tackle there was Delector. They still keep it going though. It's in the forward 50, bouncing football. Under pressure there is Izard for Laverton. Lost out, and now they've got it again. It is Modric, Connor Modric for the Titans. Couldn't get it clear. Now a tackle is laid. Umpire letting it go. Now it's Jenkins. He got a handball away that looked much more like a throw, and the umpire was right there and he agreed. So a free kick finally for Tarneit, and a chance for their first of the second term. Really, and to jump out to a 13-point lead. You
can really hear the crowd getting into that one. Umpire, as you said, Cade, letting a lot go. Crowd wanted holding the ball on multiple occasions, but just looked like there was never a good enough attempt by the defender to take possession of the ball, so the umpire called play on, and in the end, Tarneit have ended up with the ball with another shot at goal.
Killender with the free kick directly in front. He kicks it high, he's kicked it long, but he's sacrificed some accuracy in the process, and he's missed to the near side. So the margin now is 9 points, 3-4 Tarneit to 2-1-13 Laverton. It's the boundary umpires endeavour to get the ball back. 88.9 Wyn FM is the frequency, on 90.1 if you're at the ground. Kate Lucas, Connor Payne with you this afternoon. As from the kick-in, Vojo has it. He goes to half-back, couldn't quite find an opponent cleanly, and they've turned it over at half-back. Jenkins, though, got there for Laverton. Now to Najok, who's been very good. Runs his full measure, kicks up in the centre of the ground. Not a great option on this occasion, though, where it's picked up by Caithless for Tarneit, and he finds a teammate, and it's Killender who had the previous shot on goal. He doesn't shoot on goal here. Instead, he hits up a teammate, and it's Rose who's marked, and he will go back and kick for his second.
Poor defence there by Laverton, allowing both Killender and then Rose to get wide open in the forward part of the ground, particularly Rose, who was just left wide open after Killender's mark. You would have thought Laverton defenders would have tracked back after Killender's mark, but no, they just let Rose stroll right into forward 50 to take an easy, uncontested mark. This to be the first multiple goal scorer of the day, just off centre. And again, he's made the goal umpire do a bit of work. They've butchered a couple of chances, the home side. A couple of gettable chances as well. You'd think they'd be nailing these ones, particularly the breeze has slightly picked up, but not enough, you'd think, to sway the goal kicking at the moment. They lead by 10 points, but it should be more from the kick-in. Laverton, again, they're messing it up. Couldn't find a target. It's on the right, left half forward flank, and a pack forms and the ball hustled over the boundary. That's becoming a bit of an issue for the Magpies, getting out of defensive 50. I was just about to mention, both sides, but particularly Laverton with their start in this quarter, I think they just need to possibly change up their game plan a little bit. Maybe not trying to just rush it out of defence as it's a whistle blown. Westick and Taylor came together in the ruck, but the umpires found a free kick. We're not sure what for. It's off and the ball. It's the beautifully mulleted Connor Modric, a big red mullet. Sends it long to the top of the goal square. Oh, across the pack. Beautiful mark there by Chol. Had his name written all over it. And saved the day for the Magpies. On the last line, he goes long to the broadcast side. That's better. And mark taken here by Patterson, one of their goal kickers. He plays on quickly. Right in front of us, the whistle blew, which was lucky for Patterson because he dropped the ball like it was a bar of soap. But he comes back. He plays on and sells the dummy to the man on the mark. And now he drives a long ball to half forward. Pascoe the target. He's got three Titans around him. Dibwell to bring it to ground. Picked up by Anderson, Dallas Anderson, and now a kick inside 50 by Mulroy. Can they make the most of this, the Magpies? Elric gathers in the pocket. Dinky kick, finds Rollison, takes the mark. Oh, he was off. Played on. Impossible angle across the face of goal. They've messed up that opportunity, the Magpies, and the Titans should clear as it's marked on half-back by Simic. Simic goes short. Oh, the intended target there was Stone. He was tunnelled, I think. Landed flat in his back, and the umpire lets it go. And Laverton do go up inside 50. Loose kick there by Vojo, and it bounces out of play about 20 metres around from the Magpies' goal. Yeah, a bit of a weird one, that one. I don't think he was quite tunnelled, but he's definitely had his legs hit in the marking contest, which sort of spun him around. So I think the umpire just called play on because it wasn't, I guess, a deliberate act and it wasn't tunnelled, but he ended up on his backside, and Laverton took advantage and drove the ball inside forward 50. Boundary throw in deep into forward 50 for Laverton. Pasqua with the tap. Back close to the boundary, and they work it away, the Magpies. They can't get a clean kick, and now it's Burgess out of the congestion towards goal. He's hit the post. Unlucky there. Probably needed that one just with the way the game's going. Just not quite on their terms at the moment. A good start from Tarneit as they easily move the ball out of the goal square. 9 points the margin. That was the first score of the term for Laverton. Deep in defence, risky kick by Campbell. He might have turned it over. Ball comes to ground. They're hailing cabs here, the Laverton players. Paul DiMartino says, no, give it to me. It'll be a ball up about 40 metres out from the Laverton goal. Early stages of this second term. Cade Lucas and Connor Payne with you on the WRFL Match of the Day. Skeleton crew again with Willow in Bali and Nick is sick. Well, we're doing our best, like the two teams out there. Najok just took it straight out of the ruck, like the Tarneit players thought he had COVID. He got a kick away, but what do you know, he's turned it over, and the Titans have it. A kick to half back, Curtis has got it. It's been given a 50. The intercept mark it might have been encroachment on the mark, and then it's resulted in a 50-metre penalty for Tarneit. So
it was a very short 50, closer to 50 centimetres than metres. Anyway, the kick has been taken and marked by Simic right in the centre of the ground. He chips well to no one. That's a terrible kick. Najok couldn't mark, but he gathered at ground level and then opened the door for a teammate to gather. And now it's Suzuki through the corridor, beats one tackle, couldn't beat another. He loses the football and mopped up by Stone, the captain for the Titans, to Noe. Long handball, Polly Farmer-like, out to the near side wing. Binek will gather at ground level, and the Titans trying to manufacture something here. A kick towards half forward by Dunstan, bounced into open space. There first is Thornton. He's beset upon by a nest of magpies close to the boundary. 45 metres out, there'll be a ball up.
A bit lucky there to get away with holding the ball. Looked like he took possession then dropped it, but umpire might have been on the wrong side for the call. Nonetheless, Tarneit will take it.
Najok won the tap down decisively, and now Rollison over the top of it, palming it in front of himself, gaining some distance right in front of the broadcast van, and Elric takes it over right in front of us for a ball up, or ball in rather, about 70 metres out from the Tarneit goal.
I spoke about it early in the first quarter, but I wonder if you just put Najok or Chol forward of the ball, because they're both having a really big influence both in the ruck and in the defensive half of the ground. If they can get one of those two guys involved, the forward half of the ground, I think it will just really connect both parts of their game for Laverton.
Norby trying to bustle his way through from the throw-in as they work towards half forward. The Titans, good pick up by Binek, by hand to the running Killander, around the body. Fantastic goal! Goal of the day for Shane Killander, and he's letting his Laverton opponents know all about it. There's a bit of a scuffle now as the home team skip away. They are 4-5-29 to Laverton 2-2-14, and the umpires having to separate the players. That could have got out of hand, Connor.
Yeah, definitely could have. I'm not quite sure what the reasoning there is. A yellow card is called. I can't quite see for who, which you don't see too often. Just trying to work out who that was for. But on the goal itself, a really good job by Killander, taking the ball off the deck, inside forward 15 with a beautiful snap with a defender right on his tail. Looks like Killander's been given a yellow card here for starting the scuffle. As I said, I'm not quite sure what his reasoning was for getting in the defender's face after kicking that beautiful goal. But it looks like he's heading to the bench now, which I guess mars a bit of a good goal, as you said, Kate, the goal of the afternoon so far, but then marred a bit by that scuffle there.
Players often go to the bench after kicking goals, but not for as long as Shane Killander will, with that yellow card. First goal of the second quarter and biggest lead of the game, 15 points in favour of Tarneit, who have been much the better side since quarter time. Ball up in the centre of the ground. We've gone nearly 4 minutes in the second term. Binek, who's been good, in the sand, over the cricket pitch, on all fours, trying to shovel out a handball. Plenty of magpies around him to block it up, and there will be another ball up.
Laverton just need to work their way back into the game, just allowing Tarneit to gain advantage in the midfield and across half forward.
And Jock, like a volleyballer, palmed it down. Trying to shark it there was Suzuka, couldn't quite do so. Again, a pack forms. It's scrappy football at the moment. It spills out and Binek helps it on by soccering an inside 50. Old Modric left it behind. Ball comes back to the goal square. Modric butters up well, puts pressure on Partridge there for the Magpies. He soccers it to half back and the Jocker's there. You wonder where the Magpies will be without him today. He gets it by hand to Burgess, who's been good too. Kicks out to the wing on the outer side, and Mulroy's taken the mark. He moves it on quickly up towards half forward. Semakovic out there, couldn't quite take the mark, the skipper. Beating him to it is Chapman for the Titans. Handball back towards centre wing, where a pack forms again on the far side of the ground. Through the congestion, doing well was Patterson. Got a handball forward. The Titans managed to block it up. Now a kick out of the pack. In towards the forward pocket. Najok at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Gathers on the bounce. Onto the boot. Around the body. Around the post. One behind. That was nearly an excellent goal from Najok there. Every bit as good as Killander's. But it was a behind. 15 trailing 29.
Really good bit of passage of play there for Laverton, working the ball really well from the defensive 50 over to the far side of the wing, half forward area. Unlucky not to get the finish there, but a really good passage of play that they should look to replicate.
Laverton 2-3-15 trailing Tarneit 4-5-29 as the Titans try and work it out of defence.
Yeah.
And it's dribbled out for a throw-in.
It's been given
deliberate
insufficient attempt. He just kicked it, basically took one dribble, one bounce, and then was over the line, and it was a clear as day free kick for Laverton there. Not quite sure what the defender was trying to do.
So Pasqua's got it for a deliberate free kick. He's right on the boundary, about 55 out. He'll sit it up to the top of the goal square. It's an ugly looking kick. Bit of a finger breaker to try and mark that, but mark it Curtis did for the Titans. Not the result Laverton were wanting. Curtis out towards Simic. They reload here, the Titans. Simic kick up the outer wing, bouncing football over the head of Hobson. Picked up now by Bojo for the Magpies, up towards half forward, bouncing football. And it ricochets into the path of Samakovic there. His handball went forward, but he was caught high. And so it's a free kick here for the skipper. Samakovic, a kick and a half from home. He's directing traffic. He wants someone to make a lead. They trail by 14 points.
In a bit of two minds at the moment. He went to hit up a target, then he indicated that he was going for goal, changed his mind, and then changed his mind again. So it looks like he's lining up, but
he's 55 out, near enough directly in front. It'll take a great kick. He won't make the distance. It's up against the point post. No mark. Ball comes to ground. Oh, Chol through the congestion like a knife through butter. He kicks the goal. Fantastic goal by Ugal Chol. He's first of the afternoon. Laverton's third, and they cut the margin to 8 points.
For one of the biggest men on the field, that was a classic small forward goal. Read the pack perfectly, almost directed his own teammates out of the way and just said, I've got this here, boys. Perfect pick up off the deck, and with the left boot, no issues whatsoever for his first of the afternoon. Just a good reward for effort for Laverton, because in the last 2 or 3 minutes the game's been in their possession and in their half of the ground, and a good finally reward for that, because they've had a couple of near misses to start this second quarter rather, and a good job there for Chol.
It's hard to tell him and the Jock apart. The only difference is that the Jock's probably 30 centimetres taller, but they're both terrific footballers, and they're both keeping Laverton in this contest. 8 points the margin. It's a good one on the WRFL match of the day. It's a Jock in ruck now. He climbs all over the top of Curtis and won it down, and then at ground level they get it forward again, Laverton, and a mark taken here by Matthews, who wheels around. 52 out, long kick into the forward pocket. Ball comes off hands. Pasqua arriving, beaten to it though by a Titans defender, and a clearing kick out to half-back is marked by Delecta. On the half-back flank, a terrible kick bouncing forward. They've turned it over again. Over the top of it, Matthews for Laverton. He runs into a cul-de-sac, and there will be a ball up. But the visitors starting to take control here a little, mid-stages of the second term. Ball up, about 65 metres out. Najok won it down. And getting a kick out of the pack was Patterson as a whistle is blown. It might be downfield. No, it's going...
Yes, it is downfield.
It is downfield. It's going Laverton's way, and it's Elric who will take it. He's still probably 50 metres out, directly in front. Does he have the leg? Evidently not. He goes short towards Pasqua in the pocket. Couldn't take the mark. Titans have got numbers at the fall. Now Pasqua, the big fella, doing the roving hook around the body. Well wide of the goals, and it's through for a one behind.
Really good by Laverton here. I said a couple of minutes ago they need to just get the game back on their terms, and that's exactly what they've done. Probably need another goal just to really put their stamp on this game and get right back into it. They only trail by 7 points.
Oh, Misfits kick in as a shocker, chopped off by Najok, who runs on, plays on, and kicks on for another goal. Tremendous football by Aon Najok. Poor kick in by Misfud, but Najok made that look a lot more easy than it was. He's a terrific athlete and a very good footballer too. That's his first. And Laverton draw to within a point, 4-4-28 to Tarneit, 4-5-29.
Back-to-back goals for Chol and Jock. If they can keep this effort up, I don't think they'll be playing Division 3 football for that long, because they've been outstanding all afternoon. Whether it's in the ruck, they started the game predominantly in defence as well. Now it looks like they've been pushed forward. Sounds like I should possibly move into the coaching ranks, Cade, because I did call that earlier, and both players are paying dividends at the moment.
All right, pat yourself on the back then, Connor. I'll call the football. Najok won the tap down. He's doing everything at the moment. Ball caught at the bottom of a pack on the cricket pitch, and handball comes up to Najok. Helped it over towards his teammate in Vojo. He couldn't get it clear, but Laverton just want the footy a bit more at the moment. And through the congestion, Izar gets a kick forward. Could they get another goal here and hit the front? It's collected at a half forward by Elric, who's got some space on the left. Ugly looking kick. He's clearly a right footer. It comes off hands in the forward pocket. Titans got plenty of numbers back. First there for them was Thornton on the last line of defence. A kick across the face of goal, and it's marked by Delector. Deep in the back pocket. Hogan's road end. Not a great kick. Norby was the target. The bounce evaded him. Picked up by Zuzaka rather, and the whistle is blown, and it's going the way of Zuzaka, who I think was caught high.
He got rid of the handball, and right as he did, he was taken to the ground in a tackle, so just got caught holding the man. The smart play there by Zuzaka. Knew he was going to get tackled and just got rid of it at the right time.
Goes short and finds Najok, and the form is in. Why wouldn't you go to him? Najok's taken the mark. He plays on quickly, prods to the pocket, finds his old mate in Chol, who was all on his lonesome. And Chol, he's on a sharp angle. He plays on quickly. Pasqua now, directly in front nearly. Just caught napping there, the Titans defenders. And it ends up with Anthony Pasqua, the big key forward. And he's just off centre, about 30 metres out. And this to put Laverton back in front.
Not quite sure what Tarneit were doing. They just dropped the bundle in the midfield and have seemingly fallen down.
We're right behind the kick. Oh, it's a shocker. It's slewed way off the boot, and Simic fists it away in the back pocket. Now it's picked up by Burgess. He snaps. He goes for goal. No problems there from Burgess. That's how you do it. And Laverton are in front. Well, this is some turnaround here for the Magpies.
Can't quite believe it, Kate. It's the game's just about flipped on its head in a moment's notice. They were getting well beaten at the start of this quarter. It's almost about 16, 17 minutes into the quarter. We're getting well beaten. Just couldn't win the midfield at all, the ball at all, particularly in the midfield. And then they've thrown Najok and Chol forward and in the ruck, and the game's just absolutely turned on its head. A great snap there from Burgess from a pretty far distance. It looked like he was about 40, 45 metres out, and had no issues putting it through for his first of the afternoon to give the visitors their first lead.
They are in front by 5 points, 3 goals to 1 in this second term. And Binek from the ball up tries to soccer it forward for Tarneit, who need a goal in response. They can't go to the footy here though. They're winning the 50-50s, Laverton at the moment. Kick forward by Anderson, and it's marked by Matthews in the centre of Wooten Road Reserve. Kicked a half forward, and Burgess, who kicked the last goal, takes the mark, tries to play on. The umpire says, no, you don't. You're going back to take the kick.
It's actually been given a free kick to Tarneit. Right after the mark was taken, and another forward for Laverton just pushed his direct opponent. Umpire saw it and called a free kick to reverse.
Stroke of luck there for Tarneit, who are on the ropes at the moment. Dunstan got the free kick. He goes to the outer wing. And now Binek takes the mark. Forward of centre wing. Right near the Tarneit bench, where they would be a little concerned. Binek's kick isn't great, but making it look good is Rose. Kicks up inside the 50. Taylor the target, couldn't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Taylor does his own roving, tries to shrug a tackle. Now picked up under pressure by Matthews. Slung around ragdoll, got boot to ball, but it's well wide of the goals. It's out on the full.
Good last line of defending there from Laverton. Just a little bit falling asleep there, just allowing Tarneit to get back into the game, but a good job in the defence.
Mark taken right in front of us by Bojo for Laverton. Led his man under the ball. Now a low flat kick towards half forward. Pasqua was there, did a big belly flop on top of the ball, lucky not to burst it. And there will be a ball up on centre wing on the near side.
Pasqua might want to have a word with his midfielders, because that's about the 5th or 6th time I've seen a low bullet directed in his general vicinity, and just a man of his stature just doesn't quite have the ability to get down low quickly. He just needs to ask for the ball up at his hands.
From the restart, the Titans have got it, and Mark taken on centre wing right in front of us by Chapman. They need a steadier. Sorry, it's Williams. Jacob Williams, kick inside 50. Hobson the target, couldn't take the mark. They got numbers at the fall. One of them there was Greenwood, couldn't gather cleanly. Laverton arrived back in numbers. Chol all beaten to it by Binek, who soccers off the ground. Didn't miss by much, but he did miss. They are 4-6-30, the home team, trailing Laverton 5-4-34. From the kick in, Izzard ran his full measure, kicks out towards the half-back flank, couldn't find a teammate, and now a pack has formed. And eventually it spills out, and it's Matthews who pokes a kick inside 50 for the Titans. And it's Rose who's taken the mark. He's kicked 2. He chips in board and he finds Thornton, another one of their goal kickers, and he will go back for his second and a steadier for the home side.
I was about to mention that Rose is really the only consistent forward target at the moment for Tarneit, but he played on smartly to the advantage of Zach Thornton, who was left all alone in the forward line, which is a theme so far in this game. Both teams just falling a little bit asleep when they do take it. The opposition takes a mark inside the forward 50.
He'll kick from 35 on an angle. Makes the distance easily, makes the accuracy too. Badly needed one there for the Titans. Zach Thornton has his second. And Tarneit retake the lead. They are 5-6-36. Leading Laverton 5-4-34. We've got a good one here on the WRFL Match of the Day. 88.9 Wyn FM, 90.1 at the ground.
We definitely have a good one. Zach Thornton, the co-captain, wasn't at the centre bounce for the toss before the game, but is the co-captain, his second for the afternoon. Against the runner play a bit, even though the ball has lived in their forward half in the last minute, 2 minutes or so. But good job there, starting with Rose, taking a good mark inside forward 50 and then chipping the ball in further inside to the co-captain, Zach Thornton, who was left all alone and did kick truly.
3-2 in the term, which is almost 17 minutes old. Pasqua in ruck for Laverton, won it down, then butted up, helped it over towards Mulroy. Handball towards Izard, who has nowhere to go, and there will be another ball up, still in the centre of the ground. Another ball up, Pasqua underneath it, took it out of the ruck, got boot to ball, to no great effect though. It's chopped off by Hobson for the Titans. His kick was smothered, picked up by Chol through heavy traffic by hand to Zuzaka, and they tumble a kick forward here. Laverton looking for a quick reply, bouncing ball right towards the goal square, and back there is Chapman. He's gang tackled, ball spills out just in time, and the mark taken on the back flank by May, Braden May, between back pocket and half back flank, near side of the ground. Not a great kick, it'll bounce on the land on the bounce to Rose. His handball wasn't great, chopped off by Ekbal, and now picking up is Zuzaka. Kick around the body, and bounding up and marking is Chol. Forward to the wing, he plays on quickly. Handball to Pasqua, back to the running Chol, arches the back, on the left, kick out wide, looking forward, and a jock, or couldn't quite get there in time. Close to the boundary, palms it in front of himself. He's got Campbell for the Titans right with him. He leads him in merry dance this way then that way, and eventually the whistle has blinded. He run out of bounds himself, Najok, I think he did.
Yeah, I think when the defender knocked it out of his hands, he just spilled over, and then umpire called for a throw-in. But you can see why Chol and the Jock are trying to combine, because anytime they get the ball, it's just electric between those two. Just really good connection and good decision-making as well, which has been a bit hard to come by for the majority of this game. Not
good decision-making there by Najok. His handball was chopped off. Simic got the kick away for the Titans, but his kick is turned over. And it is Izard who's got it. Centre wing on the outer side of Wootton Road Reserve. Up towards half forward, close to the boundary. And he's turned it over. This must be a record for turnovers. Mark taken by Simic again. He goes short and finds Norby, who's been a bit quiet. Need him to get into the game, the Titans. Norby goes across half back. And now it's the running Delector. Delector, handball towards Rose, who's got some space. And now he finds the running Dunstan. This is better from Tarneit. Dunstan goes to 55, pulls the trigger, hits the post.
Braden May there with the poster. Could have been writing about that one himself as a journalist, but unfortunately just wasn't able to quite connect properly. But a great passage of play there from Tarneit, going end to end in an instant.
Yes, it was Braden May, not Dunstan. My apologies. But either way, it's a behind for Tarneit.
He'll be writing you up in the newspaper for getting that wrong, Cade.
Oh, good luck to him. Lead by 3 points here, Tarneit. 5-7-37 to Laverton 5-4-34. It's Zuzaka with the kick in. Runs his full measure, has a bounce, dodges around Taylor. Now another bounce, and then, what do you know, a turnover. Picked up by Matthews. Matthews kicks into the back of an opponent. Terrible football this. Almost Keystone Cop stuff. Eventually Matthews gets it back, and he finds Rose. Can you believe it? A teammate has kicked to a teammate. Rose, 40 metres out, he goes short, and another teammate is found. Miraculous. Shot on goal here coming up from Dunstan. This time it is Dunstan, and he can put Tarneit even further in front.
I'm trying not to laugh here with Kate's commentary. But it is.
That was one of the worst passages of football I've ever seen.
It's a bit of a comedy of errors at the moment, but another good passage there by Alex Rose, taking a mark inside forward 50 and then taking advantage to another teammate of his further inside forward 50.
35 metres out, and in keeping with that passage of play, Dunstan has missed. And the margin is increased, though, to 4 points, 5-8-38 to 5-4-34. We've crossed into time on in the second term. Kate Lucas Conopane with you. WRFL Match of the Day. Zuzaka has a bounce, runs on, kicks to half-back. Najok at the front of the pack, couldn't take the mark. He might have got a free kick there, he didn't, and the ball dribbles out of play for a throw-in.
Just want to mention, both teams have left goals on the board, obviously with some poor decision-making, but particularly Tarneit. They've had a lot of good set shop opportunities, but haven't been able to take advantage of the lapses in defence by Laverton, and you just wonder if this game stays tight, will that come back to cost them?
From the ball in, on the half-forward flank on the outer side, right in front of the Tarneit bench, and there will be a secondary ball up, about 60 metres out from goal. Pasqua in ruck for Laverton, won it down. Plenty of players milling around the ball. And eventually it's shovelled out. Rollison over the top of it. He's been quiet in this term for Laverton. Couldn't get a clean possession. Ball still pinballing around in the pack. Eventually Dunstan got boot to ball, floats it towards Killender, who's taken the mark. Kick and a half from home, into the forward pocket. Rose at full stretch, couldn't quite take the mark. With him is Jenkins, who did well to spoil and see it out of play. And there will be a ball in about 45 out from the Tarneit goal. Heading towards half-time here, 22 minutes gone in the second term. Been a topsy-turvy game. Tarneit in front by 4 points. They'd love another goal here to have a bit more breathing space at the half. From the throw-in, Pasqua just smacked it straight back over the boundary. They want deliberate here, the Tarneit fans, and they get it.
Not quite sure what he was doing there, Pasqua. Just lost his head for a moment, and it resulted in an easy and cheap free kick for Tarneit deep inside forward 50.
Killender will take it. He's right on the junction of the 50 and the boundary. He's already kicked one today, but this would take a terrific kick. He opens the angle long to the goal square. Rose there ran out of room, and it's out of play on the full, says the boundary umpire. And there will be a free kick to Laverton up against the point post, the left-hand point post. Chol takes it. He goes short to Rollison. Back towards Chol, who left it behind. Now has to pick it up. He's slung down in a tackle, lost the football. Tarneit should make the most of this. Binek in the pocket, kick across the face. Taylor there, so too. Thornton in the pocket. Kick backwards, not sure what he was doing. Now arriving is May to the goal square again. It clears the pack and it's marked by Chol. How they didn't score a goal there, I don't know. They could have another chance. Chol's kick's poor. Almost turned over. Pasqua arrives to gather. Handball goes to the opposition. Campbell there, he's tackled. Both these teams just need to get in for half-time. They seem to be confused as to who their teammates are at the moment, Connor.
They need to get the oranges, just refresh, take a breath, because the intent and the pressure is there, just not the execution, unfortunately.
Curtis climbed high at the ruck, won it down, but it's Laverton who try and get it clear, but they've turned it over. And now a kick inside 50, and a Tarneit player's found another teammate. Can you believe it? That teammate is May, and he's directly in front almost, about 45 out, and this would be very handy for the home side.
I can't quite see who it is. Looks like there's a Laverton player that's a little bit limpy after that contest. He's remaining on the ground, but on Tarneit, a good job there, and Braden May lights up for his first of the afternoon.
Just off centre to the club room's end as the siren sounds. And it'll be a happy half-time break for Tarneit, because they will go into it with a handy break. 10 points.
Turnovers, the needless turnovers, will probably be the one that gets the job done today.
Okay, second half underway. Pasqua up against Curtis in ruck, the two number twos. Curtis butters up at ground level on the sand on the cricket pitch, and a handball pass comes towards Westick for Laverton. Now towards Elric, wheels around at centre half forward and kicks to Vorbach, who's in acres of space in the forward 50. Not sure what the defenders for the Titans were doing there, but Vorbach was all on his own, and he will kick for the first goal of the second half, less than 30 seconds in.
Great job there by Ekbal, really just turning his defender and using it looked to be the opposite foot straight down the throat of Volbach, who was, as you said, played that maker of space.
On the angle for his first of the day, it mightn't have the legs. It's not even going to score. It's a good mark on the line there by Simic for the Titans. You could hear their fans liking that. Simic goes short to the back pocket, finds Misford. Right in front of the club rooms here at Tarneit. There's a good roll up too. Plenty of cars around the ground. Make sure you're listening on 90.1 FM. Misford goes long, hugging the boundary on the outer side. Curtis got up a mile, couldn't take the mark. And at ground level, they do whisk it away, the Titans, with a clearing kick out towards the centre wing. Rose is there, Najoc right in his hammer. They both see it out of play.
Near Gary Moorcroft areas there with Curtis. It's his second near hanger, so you can tell he's itching to take a big grab, and you have to wonder if he gets there in the end.
He's got some hops, as they say in the basketball parlance. And he's going to use them again here in ruck up against Pasqua, who's much taller, but it's fair to say he doesn't have the same hops. In fact, he doesn't even get off the ground as he tries to get the tap there, Pasqua, to no great effect. Another pack forms, another ball up.
Be interesting to see who can really take control of the midfield battle. Steve Parker, the assistant coach for Tarneit, really stressed that his side, he believes, was the better midfield, and that's where he felt the game would be won and lost.
From the restart, they get a kick up the wing, and it's Binek who's been good. He chips in board and finds Braden May, who kicked the last goal of the first half. He handballs to Nawi inside 50, or Taylor let it go through his fingers. Ball in the forward pocket for Tarneit. Laverton got numbers back there though, and it's Zuzaka. Arches the back, gets clear, goes short and finds Burgess on half back. Taylor with butterfingers there. That was a golden opportunity for the Titans, as Burgess goes short up the wing, and the dropsies have got Chol, who dropped it but has time to recover, put on the afterburners, and now kick towards half forward. Westick is there, couldn't trap it cleanly, and now he has support in the form of anyway, we'll worry about that later. On half back they've got it here, Tarneit, through Chapman. I can identify him, Chapman. He goes short and finds Thornton in the centre of the ground. He's been good, the former Werribee player. He chips it out to the broadcast side where it sits in front of Dunstan. They're building nicely here, Tarneit. Dunstan up towards half forward, and the mark is taken finally by Delector, who nearly stuffed it up. He's on left half forward to the goal square, bouncing football. Arriving late there was Sudokus, who's been quiet, hard up against the boundary, keeps the ball in. Now it's Taylor in the goal square. He's got Magpies all over him. He muscles out of the tackle but lost the ball in the process. Incorrect disposal, free kick to the Magpies.
Yeah, it was all day there. He just tried to take on one too many players. Just couldn't quite get his hands free to dispose of the ball, and the ball rightly ends up in the hands of Laverton.
Zuzaka with the free kick. He was the player I couldn't work out moments ago. It comes off hands and the whistle is blown. Free kick to Laverton for a push in the back, advantage paid. And it's Westick off a step, ugly looking kick towards centre wing. Arriving there is Burgess, left the ball behind though. Still caught in a pack between wing and half forward. Muscling it out was Mulroy, his handball went nowhere. Misford mops up for the Titans, has to go backwards. And after he got the kick away, he was pushed in the back. So free kick for Misford, who was pushed in the back there by, I think it was Jenkins for Laverton. Misford, a number of players wearing long sleeves today, which is strange given the heat. At least they're not woolen jumpers these days, as Misford goes across half back. Mark taken by May, tucks it under the arm, then kicks to Benek, has to gather off his bootlaces. He goes wide, very wide, over the intended target of Killander, and that is out of play for a throw-in. So just landed inside the boundary on the far side.
Not the start that Laverton would have wanted in this third quarter, just have not been able to get their hands on the ball at all, and if not for some inopportune turnovers and shots at goal, Tarneit would be well on top here. Boundary throw-in and mopped up by Noe. Kicking board, Misford was the target, chopped off by Burgess, who gathers, bustles through a tackle. Now at half forward, kick inside 50, good kick, and mark taken by Vorbach. In the pocket, goes backwards towards Elric. It's a poor kick. He has to go back and recover. Now he's caught in a tackle. Got boot to ball in the nick of time. Westick is there in support. And he goes by hand to Ekbal. Off a step, long to the goal square. But Camp back there. And taking the mark is Dunstan.
Opportunity goes begging for Laverton. They might have another one here. Dunstan's kick was poor. Missed, couldn't mark. Burgess arriving in the forward pocket. He gathers hard up against the boundary to the goal square. Chapman back there takes the mark for the Titans. And this time they will get clear. He goes short to the near side. Mark taken by Campbell. Has a bounce, has a run. Kick towards centre wing. And Thornton, who's really having a good game, he takes the mark. Trying to turn defence into attack. He kicks up towards half forward. Binek is there. He's got Najok and his hammer. Probably the two best players on the field. Neither gather cleanly. Ball in disputed on the half forward flank for Laverton, for Tarneit rather, as a pack forms and the umpire pulls out a free kick. It's going the way of Binek. He's about 55 out. Left half forward. No scorers yet in this third term. Early stages. Comes off hands in the goal square. Taylor was there and he was caught high. And Big Sean Taylor will have a shot on goal pretty much directly in front for the first of the third term.
Let's hope it's not a repeat of Anthony Pasqua's shot at goal from pretty much the exact same spot for Laverton in the second quarter, because that was skew way right. But you have to imagine that Sean Taylor's had a fairly quiet afternoon, just not being able to get his hands on the ball inside forward 50, so his first real shot at goal this afternoon.
We're right behind him, just off centre, but point blank range. And his kick is better than Pasqua's, but it's still not a goal. He's missed to the far side, but that is the first score of this third term. They're 6-9-45, Tarneit. 11 points ahead of Laverton 5-4-34. WRFL match of the day. Kate Lucas, Connor Payne, 88.9 Wyn FM. Jenkins runs his full measure, then tries a barrel. Gains the distance, didn't really come off. Close to the boundary. Chol is there trying to keep it in. He can't do so. And there'll be a throw-in between wing and half-forward for the Titans, who've started much better since half-time.
We spoke at half-time about whether both teams can keep up the fitness levels. I thought they'd be able to, but so far in this third quarter, it looks to be Tarneit that are able to, and Laverton just not able to run with them. Tarneit are getting free all across the ground, and if Laverton don't pick up their act soon, they might be in some trouble.
Laverton have got it here, though, from the ball in. Izard with a long kick towards half-forward. It's very open, Laverton 50. Back there is Misfoot, got it by hand to Dunstan on the last line. He kicks towards Noe, who takes the mark. Just forward of half back. He prods to centre wing, and on his fingertips, Binek took the mark, and he plays on now. And he's got Campbell in the centre of the ground in acres of space. They can set something up here, the Titans. Campbell's kick inside 50, just cleared the pack and went into the breadbasket of Greenwood. Greenwood plays on, probably not a great option, goes to the pocket, and he's found a teammate out there in the right forward pocket a long way away. I'll try and identify who it is, but they're going to have a shot on goal.
It's clear from both teams that even if they do have shots directly in front, they don't mind spraying it wide, even if it is a much tighter angle, just to gain a few more metres closer to goal. You can imagine that's directed from both coaches, which I'm not quite sure is the best option, but both teams clearly happy to do so.
I think it's Sudokus who's taken the mark, and he has a shot on goal and he's missed. So whoever that was out there, they score another behind, and Tarneit are 6-10-46, 12 points ahead of Laverton, 5-4-34. We've gone nearly 9 minutes in the third term. Kick in now for Laverton. They go long to the outer side, and stretching and marking there is Izard, and they play on and go here, the Magpies. Kick up towards an open 50. Oh, there's a man all in his lonesome. It was Rollison. He plays on. Kick inside 50 to fullback, who dropped a sitter. Has time to recover. Gather at ground level. Wheel around. Dodge an opponent. Has to finish. Fullback's kick is a shocker. Oh, that was from chocolates to boiled lollies in the blinking of an eye there for Jesse Vorback. Matthew Vorback, rather. And it's out on the full. Free kick in the back pocket to Tarneit. And
there is a Tarneit player coming off the ground. Ethan Caithness looks to be in a bit of trouble. I'm not quite sure what happened, but in a bit of pain coming off the ground now.
The free kick was taken by Campbell. He went short to Thornton, who gets a 50-metre penalty for, I think, running across the mark. Everything going Tarneit's way at the moment. Thornton goes short with a helicopter punt. Mark taken by Killander. Suddenly there's Tarneit players free everywhere. Killander up towards half forward. Big fly from the back there by Modric. Couldn't quite pull down the mark. Laverton have to be good here. It's Mulroy. Got a handball towards a teammate. Not sure where to go. Bumbling ball out towards centre wing. Vorback gathers. Does well. Gives the don't argue. Kick to half forward. Burgess. One bite, not the second. Couldn't take the mark. Does well at half forward. He's got two Titans right behind him. close to the boundary. He might be caught without it. He wants a free kick here, Burgess. The umpire is close and says nothing doing. I'll ball it up.
Frenetic passage of play there. Laverton, bit unlucky not to get the mark inside forward 50, but doing a good job keeping it inside their forward 50. Bit unlucky not to get a free kick as well.
Curtis and Pasqua, they 50-50 tap there, sort of a nil or draw. Now Killander, his kick goes nowhere. On all fours, scampering after it there like a man possessed was Anderson. Couldn't get it clear though. This is really scrappy football at the moment here. And we're going to have another ball up right in front of us here on the commentary wing at Wootton Road Reserve. 11 minutes gone, third term. 12-point lead in favour of Tarneit over Laverton. Ball up again. Pasqua, huge advantage over Modric. Out of the pack. And it's Thornton trying to muscle his way through. Now Stone, the captain, his handball went nowhere. And Vorbach through the congestion, does well for Laverton. Over towards Patterson, threw it on the boot, inside 50. Chol is there, couldn't quite take the mark. Deep well at ground level, got clear on the left for the Magpies. He's got it. Chol's kicked his second. And that's probably the best we've seen all day. And Laverton hang in there. First goal of the second half. They are 6-4-40, trailing by a goal. Tarneit 6-10-46.
A great passage of play there by Ubil Chol. As just Kate said, his second of the afternoon, and just a class goal. Just grabbed the ball when it was in the contest, moved away from his defender with ease, and then with his left foot just opened up the angle, took a few steps to compose himself, and then kicked truly for his second goal, first of the quarter. Just a wrestle control back in their favour of Laverton. They've been underdone in this third term. Tarneit well on top, and more passage of play like that with Chol taking full advantage and will do the Magpies good.
Against the run of play, they draw to within a goal. 6-4, trailing 6-10, and Najok from the restart won it down and then follows the ball up towards half forward. They want another one here, Laverton, to draw things level, as caught in a tackle at half forward is Vojo, and he's holding the ball. As you know, the umpire is going to come in and ball up. Our mate Paul DiMartino on Umpire's Appreciation Day. Ball up at centre half forward. Najok won the tap down, but straight down the throat of the captain, Stone, who bursts away from the pack. Up towards half forward for the Titans. Binek couldn't gather the bounce. He recovers well, though. Got a handball away towards Williams. Now to Killander. They're building here nicely, the Titans. Killander's kick in the direction of Sadukas. Couldn't gather, but butted up well at ground level. A kick around the body. He can't keep it in. It's out of play on the full. Free kick, Laverton deep in the back pocket.
Execution wasn't quite there, but obviously it was a rush kick. But nonetheless, a good passage of play for Tarneit. Just moving the ball really quickly. You can see that they're getting the advantage in the middle of the ground, and if the game's played freely, as the kick we brought back to take him from the proper angle. Yeah, if the game's played freely, then Laverton are right in it, but when it's the midfield battle, the midfield contest, Tarneit's well in control.
Jenkins kicked forward from the left back pocket, Hogan's road end, to a contest at half back, and it's a contest the Magpies win, and they kick up towards centre wing where Najok is there, and he takes the mark, and he might get a free kick here anyway. Gee, him and Chol are really keeping the Magpies afloat at the moment. Najok goes short. And he's found Vojo, still a kick and a half from goal. He's directing traffic. He wants some leads from teammates. He just sits it up long and high into the middle of the 54, back at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Campbell under pressure for the Titans. Kicks a rainmaker. It's a high up and under ball. Najok contests, can't take the mark. Now under pressure. Handball away there from Hobson. Went nowhere. Arriving now, Pasqua, he can't gather in time, and he's happy to see the ball out of play for a throw-in just inside attacking 50 for Laverton, who, after a poor start to the term, have just regained a bit of control.
Definitely have just a bit of composure, just not trying to blaze away when the opportunities in there. As you said, Pasqua was very, very happy to just see the ball over the line and hopefully can result in a winning contest.
Curtis and Najok, and a whistle from the throw-in, and Najok has the free kick paid against him. So Curtis on right half back, outer side of the ground, looking for Binek, and he takes the mark on the far side.
He's been good today.
Yep, his bald head glistening in the afternoon sunshine. It's a glorious day here in the outer western suburbs. Very warm for this time of year. Binek goes long and finds Campbell, who runs into space, takes the mark, top of the centre square, prods a kick to the half-forward flank. It's a poor one, and it's chopped off there. It's Samukovic, the skipper for Laverton. He now finds Chol, plays on, raking long left footer up towards half-forward. Oh, almost a mark there taken by Vojo. Now he helps towards Najok. He can't gather cleanly. Contest at half forward here. Important one for Tarneit. They don't want to concede another. And there'll be a ball up right in front of the Tarneit bench.
Just on that kick forward by Tarneit that was cut off by Samukovic, that's been their Achilles heel all day. When the balls move freely and they're able to kick to advantage with no pressure, they've done really well. But when they're trying to hit up targets forward of the ground, they've just really struggled, particularly in the half-forward flank area.
From the ball up, the ball is kicked to Binek, who's on half-back still on the outer side. He goes short to centre wing, finds Chapman. Trying to build forward here, Tarneit. Mid-stage of the third term. Chapman kicked to half-forward. Good mark taken up there. I think it might have been Sadukas. He prods it towards half-forward, and coming from nowhere was Thornton. Thornton's marked. He's still about 52 out on the right half-forward flank. There's not a lot on him. Might have to have a ping here, Thornton, who has kicked two. They haven't kicked a goal since half-time, Tarneit. They lead by 6 points. Can Thornton double that lead for his third from 50? Oh, it's a nice long kick, but it's just to the far side. And a behind for Thornton and a behind for Tarneit, who are 6-11-47, 7 points ahead of Laverton 6-4-40.
I said it in the first half, I'll say it again, you just wonder if the inaccurate set shot kicking from Tarneit will come back to haunt them.
Chol from the kick in, took off a bit too much and he lost the football, ran into a tackle. Now they've got a problem, Laverton, deep in the back pocket. Contested footy, Binek gathered, tumbled a ball towards the pocket again, and arriving there is Greenwood, hard up against the boundary. A pair of Magpies arrived to see him over, and there'll be a ball in about 25 around from the Tarneit goal.
A bit lucky there was Chol. Looked like he got tackled as he tried to fend off. Whether the ball was just knocked out, that might have saved him, but from my perspective, it looked a bit lucky to not give away the free kick inside defensive 50.
Najok and Taylor in ruck. Taylor took it straight out, then kicks a skyer. Doesn't gain much distance. Comes off hands again. Sadukas there trying to carve his way through. And now eventually the Magpies will get clear with a kick up into the centre of the ground. Burgess was there, went over his head, but did well at ground level. Ran straight into a tackle though. Lost the football and he's gone holding the ball. Stone for the Titans, the skipper. Kick to half forward, finds Thornton. Thornton prods it into the forward pocket, finds Braden May. May wheels around. He kicked the last goal of the first half. Can he kick that first to the second? Right to the goal line. It's off hands. It dribbles wide and out of play for no score. And there'll be a throw-in up against the left point post at the Hogan's Road end.
They would have liked a goal there, but probably not the worst result. Rather than they're dribbling through for a point, they can at least take stock and try and win the contest from the throw-in.
No goals so far in this turn for Tarneit. Their lead has been shaved back to 7 points from the throw-in. There's a whistle.
Laverton
And
free kick.
Najok was pushed in the back, so a free kick for the Laverton star, probably the best player on the ground so far. He runs his full measure and now drives it long up the outer wing, straight to the opposition. Oh, Curtis was there, couldn't take the mark, and now he has Pasqua belly flopping on top of him. That wouldn't be very comfortable. Ball on centre wing, picked up out of the congestion by Thornton, bursts away, kick up inside the 50. That's better play, and a mark taken by Sadukas for the Titans. And he's near enough directly in front and should kick their first of this third term.
You can see why Thornton's one of the co-captains here for Tarneit. He has been everywhere in this third quarter. He's floated back into defence, been everywhere in the midfield, half forward, flank, forward 50, you name it. Great passage of play there. A great kick inside forward 50. I keep saying passage of play. Need to change my vocabulary. But a good job and a good mark by Sadukas.
Directly in front, 30 metres out. Sadukas, no problem. He's first of the day. First of the second half for Tarneit, and they get a bit of breathing space. Margin back out to 13 points. 7-11-53. Laverton 6-4-40. We have gone over 20 minutes in this third term. We're into time on Connor Payne on 88.9 Wyn FM.
great kick there from Sudeikis. Their first for the quarter, as Cade said. Just really keeping Laverton at arm's bay, Tarneit, just not letting them really get a foothold into this game in this second half and the third quarter. They'll need a couple more goals because it's still only 13 points, and with the way guys like Najok and Chola play, they can turn the game in an instant, but at the moment it is Tarneit in control, and unless they can get on top in the midfield battle, Tarneit will stay in control.
18 scoring shots to 10 in favour of Tarneit. They probably should be further in front. From the ball up, Najok was uncontested, won it down but at no great advantage. His teammate Rollison was there, fumbled a handball forward, but beating his opponent to it was Noe. Beat a couple. Handball now towards Delecta. Long kick inside 50 for Tarneit. Binek is there. It bounces in front of him. Couldn't gather cleanly. Open the door for Williams to gather. Now Norby again. Handball back towards Thornton. Suddenly Tarneit players everywhere. Thornton on the flank. Kick into the forward pocket. Didn't give his teammate much of a chance. Greenwood is there. But Laverton arrive in numbers, but a clearing kick is chopped off by Binek on the half-forward flank. Hits it up to the top of the square and finds a teammate. It's Rose, near enough directly in front. And this for their second goal in a minute, and to really make life difficult for Laverton.
Another good job by Rose, just floating into space when the Laverton defenders have fallen asleep, which he's done on multiple occasions, particularly in their first half and the second quarter, really. He's lining up for his second in the afternoon and just really start to feel that this game's moving into the full control of Tarneit.
This would be the biggest lead of the day. Rose comes in on the left, and that is a beautiful kick. He's their leading goal kicker of the season. He's got 9, including 2 today. And they're making a run for it here, the home side. They've kicked the last 2. They are 8-11-59, Laverton 6-4-40, and we're over 22 minutes gone in the third term.
A bit of danger signs at the moment for Laverton. The game just slipping ever more out of their hands. If not for some individual brilliance from Najok and Chol, they'd be well gone in this game. They're definitely still in it. What is it? 19 points, so less than 4 goals, so they're right in it. But Tarneit just getting more and more control, and I just have to wonder if the big and wide ground here is playing a factor into the hands of the Titans.
Najok won the tap down, and a whistle is blown before anyone else could get their hands on the football. I'm not sure what that was for, but Burgess has got it here for Laverton. He's been one of their best. They really need a goal, at least one goal before three-quarter time, you'd think, the Magpies. Burgess in the centre of the ground, kicks towards Najok. Up high, dropped the mark though, toe poked it forward at ground level, but the Titans are winning all the 50-50s now. Tumbling handball wasn't great though, slung around as Rollison got a handball away, and now Chol runs into space, hard on the boundary. He's got Modric right with him, he handballs in front of himself, close to the boundary. Modric kept to his task though, wouldn't let up, and eventually the ball dribbles out of play for a throw-in just inside attacking 50 for the Magpies.
Good job by the bright-haired man there in Modric. Can't miss him with the orange mullet.
Geez, the Magpies would love him too, the real-life ones, rather than Laverton.
Well, we've got some birds in front of us, so we'll have to see if they start attacking him, but no.
And Jock took it straight out of the ruck, handball to Chol, but the boundary line's too close, and over it goes for another throw-in, still on the half-forward flank, about 50 out from the Laverton goal, going to the club room's end in this third term.
You have to wonder what Laverton can do. Do you put both Chol and the Jock, one in the ruck, one in the midfield? But I guess it takes away from one of them being forward of the ball where you really want their influence and smart decision making.
Both ruckmen run under the throw-in. It dribbles out though towards Fojo, outside the 50. Gets boot to ball, it floats inside the 50. Almost a mark taken there to Suzaka. Ball comes off hands, and now the Titans soccer it into open space right in front of us. Centre wing on the near side. Burgess will be first there, ducked under a tackle, and now it sends a barrel back inside the 50. Clears the pack, bouncing football. Campbell back there on the last line for the Titans, and he's happy to see it out of play in the left forward pocket at the club room's end. Almost 25 gone in the third term, only 3 goals for the term. It won't be a long one.
They really need a goal here to Laverton just to keep the game within arm's reach and not let Tarneit take too big of a lead.
Boundary throw in. Najok couldn't quite take it out of the ruck. Ball comes to ground. It's still in contest. And now socket out wide. Modric is there right with Chol, and they're happy to see it out of play for another throw in about 20 metres further out from the Laverton goal. trailing by 19 points late in the third term. Second win of the season on offer for either side here. Throw-in is a bit short. Not just the players getting tired. So we'll do it again.
Just have to wait a second as the ball's bounced over the fence.
So boundary throw-in about just outside attacking 50 here for Laverton. On the outer side, shadows growing here. It's a beautiful day, but the sun is gradually getting into our eyes.
Unfortunately so, having to put the hand up despite wearing a hat here in the caravan.
And Jock and Curtis getting a tangle, but the ball evades them both from the throw-in. Close to the boundary, right on the junction of the 50 and the boundary. And there will be another ball up. Time ticking away, cross 26 in the third term. Najock up very high, won it down to no great advantage though. Through the congestion, Hobson tunnel ball to handball. They win it back though, Laverton only momentarily. Still caught in a pack. Mulroy now, he's gang tackled, lost the football, and they might be out here, Tarneit, as a whistle's blown. And they have to come back. It's Thornton on half back for the free kick. Kick up to the centre of the ground. Campbell in space. Trapped the bouncing football. Now he's away. And so are Tarneit. A low flat kick up inside an open 50. Taylor beaten to it by Jenkins. And the siren to end the third term beats them both. And the home side will turn for home with a very handy break. They're 19 points in front, Tarneit. 8-11-59 to Laverton 6-4-40 with never won against Tarneit. They'll be celebrating long and hard if they manage to pull this out of the fire. Away we go in the last term. Pascoe in ruck for the Magpies who need a fast start going to the Hogan's Road end of the final term. It's Burgess who got a handball out of the pack. Oh, missing the handball there was Vojo. They're off to the races otherwise, and now a kick back the other way from Delector for Tarneit. Bouncing ball up towards half forward. Rose is there. Right with him is Jenkins. Rose is kicked too. He slaps it forward. Arriving is Williams. Can't gather cleanly, and now a hack out off the ground by the Magpies, and it's marked by Burgess. Backside of the centre square. Need the first goal, you'd think, Laverton, as Burgess finds the running Najock. Takes the mark and now kicks long up inside the 50. Coming off hands. Chol arriving, spun again, but lost the football, and he's holding the ball, says the umpire.
I thought he got a handball, but umpire clearly had a better position and scored holding the ball.
Just bit off a bit more than you could chew, Chol. He's been excellent otherwise. And Tarneit go across their own goal. Simic took the mark, and now he goes to Caithless, deep in the back pocket. Ethan Caithless. He goes to centre half back, and Taylor is there, just a bit too high for him, went through his hands. Williams there in support, handball back to Taylor again. They don't argue to one, not to the second. He's tackled, dispossessed. Now Chol gathers, umpire lets it go. Chol through heavy traffic, kick inside 50, just missed the target. Bouncing ball into the pocket, and back there is Dunstan, hard up against the boundary. He clears the danger, and it dribbles out of play for a throw-in just outside attacking 50. Early stages of the last term. Laverton stretching for the first goal. They're 19 points adrift.
You can tell it's been a hard-fought contest. Caleb Pattinson currently at centre-half forward, just stretching his legs. Obviously got a bit of cramp, so both sides feeling it at the moment.
Boundary throw in. Taylor just bustled Pascoe out of the way, then threw it onto the boot, up towards centre wing. Comes off hands. Underneath it is Rollison for Laverton. And now over towards Zuzaka. He's tackled. Managed to get boot to ball. It rolls towards half forward. Pascoe is there. He's tackled, goes to ground. He's got a Tarneit player all over him like a rash. And there will be a ball up on the left half forward flank for the Magpies.
Just a quick update on Caleb Pattinson. I thought it was cramp, but he's being taken off the ground, so it might be a bit more serious. Taylor
and Pascoe in the ruck. It's a super heavyweight battle there between those two. And it's Taylor who wins the free kick here on half back. He now goes to centre wing. Leading his man under the ball and taking the mark is Williams for the Titans. Goes by hand now to the running May. May on centre wing, kicked it straight into the man in front of him. Comes back to him, then sends a rugby pass out towards Bynek. You're more likely to see that sort of pass watching the Melbourne Storm.
Tried to claim a handball, but we were front on for that one. And that was a throw as clear as day.
Zuzaka's got the free kick right in front of us. Centre wing on the near side, up and under ball to half forward, and the mark taken there by Vojo. Plays on quickly, inside 50. Almost chopped off. Now Najock is there, somehow hooked it over towards Patterson. his teammate, or it's Samakovic actually. He couldn't gather cleanly. Now arriving is Vorbak. Beats a couple, but there's too many Titans there and they bring him to ground, and eventually the ball spills out towards Bynek. He gets boot to ball. Scrappy, messy stuff, but desperate stuff from both teams. It bounces towards centre wing, right in front of us, where Rollison nearly had his head taken off his shoulders, and he gets a free kick right in front of the broadcast van.
Good job there by Killander. Clearly got his opponent high, but knew straight away and then apologised.
Free kick by Rollison up the wing. Couldn't find a teammate, comes off hands. Stone on all fours. He handed it straight to Vorbak of the Magpies, who sends them deep inside 50. Bouncing ball. It's Urbak there, or Ekbal rather, for the Magpies. Hard up against the boundary. Bouncing ball comes towards Samakovic, off hands to the opposite pocket. They're pressing here, the Magpies. They might have broken through. Shot on goal. And it's a behind. Gee, you can't question their effort. First score of the final term. They are 6-5, 41 now. Laverton trailing Tarneit 8-11-59. We've gone 4.5 in the last term.
Good job, as you said, Kate, by Laverton, just trying to throw everything and see what sticks. Just need to be a little bit more clinical in front of goal.
Misford with the kick in finds Braden May in the back pocket. May. This way then that way, decides to hug the boundary and finds Binek, who's been excellent on the half-back flank. Chips up towards the wing and Williams in front takes the mark. Just doing a bit of circle work now, Tarneit, just trying to make Laverton chase tail. Kick there by Williams wasn't great. They've turned it over and now it's the running Vorbak who's got it. Has time for a bounce inside 50. Kick goes way off goal. It's into the pocket. Back there, seeing it out of play is De Potro. And it's a throw-in about 20 or 30 metres around from the Laverton goal. At the Hogan's Road end, they're pressing here, the Magpies, but their entries inside 50 are just letting them down.
They're getting plenty of space and time with the ball, but as you said, Cade, just not having any effective kicks once inside forward 50.
Najok won it down. It's roved by Vorbak this way, then that way through heavy traffic. Now sends a kick goalward. Chola's there, but a whistle was blown as the ball was in mid-air, and it's kicking in danger, says the umpire. And it will be a free kick for Laverton. So can they make the most of this? We said they needed the first of the last quarter. They've tried for it. And now Chol, who's kicked two, has the free kick to keep them in it. Directly in front. 20 metres out. And he rubs his head in disappointment. He's missed from dead in front.
Just looked like he leaned a bit too far back on that one. Just tried to guide it in rather than kicking through it. And probably the only real blemish of his afternoon today. He's been excellent.
Margin 17 points when it should be less. 2 behinds to start the term for Laverton. Tarneit yet to score from the kick-in. Misford finds Caithless still deep in the back pocket. Caithless kicker's poor. He's chopped it off by Chol. He goes again this time. Much harder angle. Across goal. Oh, Simic. He got absolutely poleaxed by Burgess in a contest for the ball. Burgess is up. Simic is still on the ground.
Free kick for Laverton.
And a free kick is paid for Laverton.
I think the umpire called a push. He might not have been looking at the ball, but both players are up, so they don't look to be in too much distress, but that was a big hit there.
It was, but the free kick goes to Laverton and it's Burgess to keep them in it. Sharp angle, but he might have threaded the eye of a needle here, Luke Burgess. He has. He's kicked his second of the day. And they're hanging in there, Laverton. Jack Burgess, rather. He's kicked 2. And Laverton have now kicked 7. They're 7-6-48. Trailing Tarneit 8-11-59. And we've gone 7.5 in the final term.
Luke Burgess, Jack Burgess, doesn't matter who kicked the goal. All that matters for Laverton is that it was a goal. They're right in this one. Just need to be a bit more clinical going forward as they were just then. A bit lucky with the free kick deep inside forward 50, but no matter how they come, all that matters is that they go through the big sticks. Sorry, cut you off there, Kate. Tarneit just to wrestle control back in the midfield, just getting overrun a little bit, which is interesting to see given how tired many of the Laverton players looked early in this fourth quarter, rather.
They've done all the scoring since three-quarter time. 1 goal, 2 they've kicked. Tarneit yet to add to their three-quarter time score. We've crossed 8 minutes from the restart. Pasqua won it down. Curtis socketed off the ground for Tarneit. Now Vorback in there, and he fumbled it over towards Barsky, who gets a kick towards half forward, but it comes back with interest. The Tarneit spoil it up towards the wing. It's Dunstan soccering it forward, and now the loose ball picked up by Delector there. His handball went nowhere. Now Simic, who's recovered from that earlier knock, he kicks inside 50. Rose is marked in the pocket. They can finish it here just about. Kick towards the top of the square. Comes off hands. Partridge got it by hand at Jenkins, but he threw it, said the umpire. And a free kick here for Tarneit. Dead in front. It'll be Modric who'll take it. And he can just about finish the Magpies off.
The crowd behind the goals urged the umpire on that one, and he duly replied with the free kick, and they were happy to hear that because it's a shot directly in front from no more than 25 metres out.
Connor Modric directly in front, 35 out, he's missed. They should be home and dry, really, Tarneit. They've kicked 8, 12, 60. 2 goals in front of Laverton, 7-6, 48. 9 minutes gone. WRFL match of the day. Final quarter. Laverton v Tarneit. From the kick in, Partridge goes long and a half back, and the mark's taken out there by Chol. He's been everywhere this afternoon. He's on the half back flank, a raking long ball up towards Najok on centre wing. Right with him is Simic. Simic did well at ground level. His handball might have gone to the advantage of the opponents though. Gee, haven't we seen that a bit today? This time the ball dribbles out of play for a throw in. Centre wing out of side.
That moment there from Connor Modric. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a missed shot at goal, but given how close the game is in the favour of Laverton at the moment. They've only won once this season. They're looking for their second. You just wonder if it'll come back to bite them.
10 minutes gone, last term. Pasqua and Curtis, the 2 number 2s. Pasqua with the better of it, then Laverton get a kick towards half forward. Modric is there for Tarneit. His handball isn't great, he's turned it over. And now a whistle right in front of the Tarneit bench. Paul Dibertina is there, and he's paying the free kick to the Magpies.
Thought they were away, the Magpies, but the umpire there, Dibertina, just calling him back, which should allow Tarneit to reset because Laverton were out.
Jenkins has got it on the half-back flank, long and high towards centre wing in front. Rollison couldn't take the mark. He had Norby right with him, who spoiled it and sent it out of play. Throw in again, centre wing out of side. Shadows creeping across Wooten Road Reserve.
Just on the sun, do you reckon that plays a factor at all for Tarneit going forward? Obviously they're kicking basically directly into the sun. Do you reckon that plays a factor at all?
It could do. Mind you, they've been missing shots all day. From the throw in, neither ruckman really got a tap. Again, it's caught in a pack. Izard there, he's slung around, and it's over for a throw in again as Vojo limps away for Laverton. A few other players stretching. Both these teams have worked very hard today in unseasonably warm conditions. Pasqua and Curtis. Pasqua with the height advantage over his head. But it's Nawi who sharked it for the Titans. And Nawi mops up his own handball, puts on the afterburners, kick inside 50. Sadukas is there. Michael Nawi has been a bit quiet by his standards, but a moment of magic there sets up a shot on goal for Sadukas, and this will really make it tough for Laverton, if not make it impossible. Almost 12 minutes gone. Sadukas has kicked one. He's directly in front. To the club room's end. You'll hear the crowd if he kicks it. 40 metres out. Oh, yes, the fans like it. Sadukas has his second. And they'll be hard to stop now, the Titans. They're 9-12-66. Laverton 7-6-48. It's a 3-goal margin. We've gone 12 and a half in the last term, and Laverton will need, if not a miracle, a superb end to this term to be any hope.
As you said, Kay, the fans liked it. Jason Sadukas loved it, and his most important goal for the afternoon. Only his second, of course, but none bigger than that. Probably none bigger in the game so far. A brilliant passage of play from Michael Nawi, just breaking away from his direct opponent, taking the game on, taking a bounce, and then kicking to the advantage of his forward, who bobbled the mark slightly but held on and then kicked truly.
Ball up. Need to make every post a winner from here, Laverton, as Najok handballed toward Chol, but he just had the ball buffeted off him, and now the Titans have got it. Almost a mark taken by May, but he fell to ground. Picked up there by Barsky. Tumble to kick forward, and now it spills out of the pack towards Chol. He gathers forward of the wing. Mark taken by Vorbak, who plays on, dodges an opponent. Kick towards goal. It's floating, it's bouncing, and it's through. Terrific answer there by Vorbak. And Laverton will not go away. They're 8th of the afternoon. And they are 8-6-54, trailing Tarneit 9-12-66. 13 and a half gone in the last quarter.
A great job there by Chol setting up that major Vorbak's first of the afternoon. He's been threatening all day, just hasn't quite had the kicking boots on, and even that one, it looked like it was going wayward, but swung back enough to dribble through, and a good connection, as I said, from Chol, who just did a little dink kick over the top, which allowed Vorbak to play into some space and run into the goal for his first of the afternoon, and a much needed goal for the visitors.
14 minutes gone, still time for Laverton if they're good enough, as Najok put it down the throat of Chol, who had the ball knocked out of his hands. Curtis for the Titans, up and under kick towards half forward. Modric, who's had a good last quarter, gathers with his mullet flowing in the afternoon sun. He kicks up inside 50. Rose is marked, all on his own. On the half forward flank, there's another teammate all on his own. It was May, but he spent it before he had it. Mulroy arrived to spoil, gathered, kicked up towards the centre of the ground. Bouncing football. Curtis, he's well tackled, right in the middle of Wootton Road Reserve, and there will be a ball up, and suddenly this match is really up for grabs again.
May just waited for the ball to come in, wasn't proactive, and then resulted in allowing the Laverton defender to come and spoil the ball.
Curtis out-bodying to Jock, took it out of the ruck, kicked towards half forward. Two Laverton players spoil each other. Ball comes to ground between the centre square and centre half forward, and another ball up. We've crossed 15 minutes in the last. Kate Lucas and Connor Payne on 88.9 Wyn FM or 90.1 of the ground. WRFL match of the day. Ball up. Najok won it down. Rose in there. He was ragdolled. Ball spills free, but a pack forms once again. This is going to be a desperate last 10 or 15 minutes. And there will be another ball up.
We apologise as well. It is Jason Sadoukas.
From the ball up, a kick inside 50 for Tarneit, and it's Binek who's taken the mark. I think it was Curtis who took it out of the ruck, threw it on the boot, and it floated into the breadbasket of Binek, who hasn't kicked a goal, but he deserves one. He's been terrific today, and he can frank that performance with a goal here that would just about win it for the Titans. He's near enough directly in front. He'll kick from about 45.
I think he's played literally every position on the ground besides ruck today, has Binek.
16 minutes gone. They lead by 2 goals. And now they lead by 3. Binek kicks his first of the afternoon. And they shouldn't lose this now, the Titans. The margin back out to 3 goals, 10-12-72 Tarneit, Laverton 8-6-54, and we've gone 16 and a half in the final term on the WRFL match of the day.
A great job there by Binek, just taking advantage of some lax Laverton defence. But Tarneit will certainly say thank you very much for that. As you mentioned, Kate, his first of the afternoon. I think he's played half-back, full-back, in the middle, on the wing, just about everywhere. He's been one of Tarneit's best by far, and none more important plays by him than that goal right there.
4 goals for the last term, 2 apiece. How many more have we got from the ball up? Binek, who kicked the last goal, is now at the bottom of the pack. As you mentioned, Connor, he's played just about everywhere today. And he's in the centre square now as there's another ball up. Najok and Curtis. Curtis just shoved him out of the road, then took the ball out of the ruck, high up and under ball to half forward. Another goal here for the Titans would finish it, but Tarneit undone yet. It was Partridge. He was well tackled. Ball spills out on the half-back flank, and Partridge got back to his feet, goes after it again. Killander buffeted him off the football, couldn't gather himself, and now the umpire's found a free kick. And it does go to Killander for the Titans. Not sure what that was for.
I think the umpire called a trip on that one.
Right in front of his own bench. He goes backwards to Curtis. It's just over his head. He couldn't mark. There is Hobson. He fumbled. Comes towards half forward. Another whistle.
Another Tarneit free
and
kick.
Another Tarneit free kick. So they made some fumbles and mistakes there, but free kicks have made up for them. Hobson, inside 50, intercepted, comes off hands to Binek. His kick goes straight to a Laverton opponent. Now Mulroy, he's driven into the turf, lays a tackle on a Tarneit opponent. Both teams giving everything out there. There's going to be some very tired boys for both sides at the end of this. There'll be a ball up right at centre half forward for the Titans. They're going for the jugular. Pasqua took it out of the ruck, couldn't get it clear. Burgess could though, to Vorback, kick around the body, up towards centre wing on the near side. There's a foot race, and winning it will be Campbell for the Titans. He can't gather cleanly, and now Hobson is there in support though. By hand to... it's Hobson who kicks it up inside 50, looking for Greenwood. Greenwood's gang tackled. And there will be a ball up on the right half forward flank, about 50 metres out from the Tarneit goal. Late in the day here at Wooten Road Reserve. Approaching time on in the last. Taylor and Pasqua. Ball comes off hands. Modric will be first there, but Burgess just wanted it a bit more. Unfortunately, he ran out of room. He got the handball away, but the boundary umpire was there, and it'll be a throw-in.
Again, just want to take a moment in time just to say apologies to Jason Sudoukis. We've been saying his name all wrong all afternoon. It is Sudoukis, not Sudeikis.
Yeah, righty, O'Connor. We really said his name wrong. Yeah.
Well,
anyway, from the throw-in, Taylor got a kick away, but only as far as Mulroy. Kick up towards centre wing. And the mark's taken here by Joffre for Laverton. Last roll of the dice stuff. He kicks up towards half forward. Patterson is free and he takes the mark. Plays on quickly. Up inside the 50. They need a mark. Semakovic is there. Can't pull it down, but he gets a free kick. The skipper's got a free kick. Well within scoring range. They're not done with yet, the Magpies.
Still plenty of time as well. The clock's just about to tick over 20 minutes. So still plenty of time, particularly with multiple goals in this last quarter. So no need to rush, but a need to kick this goal.
Directly in front, about 35 to 40 out. He's kicked one, Semakovic. And he's still kicked one. It's across the face. It's a behind. They need better than that now. Laverton, they trail by 17 points, 72 to 55 from the kick-in. Tarneit moved quickly up the outer wing. Good mark by Nawi, who's gotten better as the game's gone on. He plays on here and drives the Titans up towards half forward. It's an open 50. There's a man free. I think it's the running Williams who plays on. Long ball to the goal square. Taylor is there. Can't take the mark, the big fella. Put out the paw, but it wouldn't stick, and it's over for a throw-in in the forward pocket.
Given their dominance in the midfield in the last few minutes, they'll happily take a throw-in. Just need to get the smalls involved on the outside of the pack for a handball at the side of the pack or at the back for an easy shot at goal.
A goal here would be the coup de grace for Tarneit. It's about 20 metres around from their goal. Boundary throw-in. Westick and Taylor roving. There is Killender. Big sharp angle in front of him, and it was too much, and it's out on the full. So free kick in the back pocket for Mulroy. Sun setting here at Wooten Road Reserve. Hard to see the players now as Mulroy goes long to the wing. The jock got up too early. I think it was Chol, in fact. Either way, just couldn't time the jump, and it's out for a throw-in. About 50 metres out from the Tarneit goal. We're into time on. Nearly 22 minutes gone in the last quarter.
I never thought I'd be saying this, Cade, in the nearly approaching winter, but I just want the sun to go away because right now it's affecting everything in the forward half of the ground for Tarneit.
Throw in
for us.
Pasqua and Curtis. Curtis jumps over the top of him only as far as Rollison when he's tapped. Elric at ground level. Good tackling here by Tarneit. They just want to lock this up now. Eat up some more time. And they do that. There'll be another ball up.
I think it's a free.
Actually, no, it's a free kick to Chol, who moves on quickly. Goes the 1-2. Chol again. Handball forward.
Another free kick.
They can't get it clear, but another free kick. Pushing the back. There's a Tarneit player down. It's Nawi who's very slow to get back up. As the free kick is taken by Chol. Up towards centre wing. A big fly by Caithless. He was far too early, though. And another push in the back.
This time for Tarneit.
It's going to Tarneit, though. I'm not sure what that was for.
I think the push in the back occurred before the fly.
Okay, Dunstan took it. He goes inboard towards Campbell. Campbell will now switch it towards the commentary side. And the mark's taken in front of us here by Delecta. Delecta moves it on quickly. Up towards half forward. And it's Sudoukis, the man whose name I've stuffed up all afternoon, but I've got it right this time. Sudoukis. He has kicked two, and he's going to line up for his third, and this will finish it off if he gets it. He's on right half forward.
We'll kick from just about 50 metres.
It will take a good kick. You'll hear the crowd behind the goals if he's got it. In he comes. Close to the man on the mark. He will send it right to the hot spot. And a great mark on the line. And it's Chol who climbed highest. He's had a fabulous game. He takes the mark. Sends it out to half-back, to no one in particular. Binek is there. He's been good too. He gathered on the bounce, shrugged off an opponent, hut up against the boundary. And now it's Braden May. Kick inside 50 and Thornton arrives. And he's taken the mark. And he's now got the chance to put it beyond doubt for the Titans. Thornton has kicked too. He's been excellent also.
Some really good decision making at times for Tarneit all afternoon, even though it hasn't always worked out. They have been looking for those kicks inside forward 50 when the Laverton defence has fallen away, and as we just saw there, a play just like that.
Thornton will kick from about 35 or 40 metres directly in front. Puts it on its way. It's across the face. Oh, Sudokus was there. He couldn't mark. And now Chol again. Oh, he stuffed up the bounce. Gathers, though. Helps it towards Burgess. They won't go away, the Magpies. Burgess sends it floated to centre of the ground. Doing well there was Chapman. Helped it over towards Hobson. Buffered it off the football. And now gathering is Anderson for the Magpies. Over to Burgess. Kick up inside 50. Samakovic is marked. There's still a chance. Samakovic goes to the hot spot, looking for a teammate. Vorback back there, couldn't quite take the mark. Gathers in the pocket. Impossible angle towards goal. It's across the face. It's one behind. It's one behind, and that might be all she wrote for the Magpies.
Had a teammate in their goal square, but whether he didn't see him or just went for glory, was unable to hit the target and ended up in the point for Laverton when they desperately need another goal.
Titans have it on half-back. They lead by 16 points. We've crossed 25 minutes. A poor kick, and it's mopped up there by Samakovic. Forward of the wing. Here they come again, the Magpies. Kick inside 50. Vorback takes the mark. Plays on. Kicks the goal. There's still a chance. Vorback's got his second of the last term. And Tarneit are hanging around. They trail by 10 points. Nearly 26 minutes gone in the last quarter. It is Tarneit 10-12, 72, Laverton 9-8, 62.
We just about wrote them off after that last miss by Vorback, and then just as quickly he's gotten the ball, taken the mark, played on, dodged two defenders and kicked his second for the quarter and second for the afternoon. So they might just run out of time because the clock has just ticked over 26 minutes in this final term, but there has been a lot of goals, and it is only a 2-goal margin, so anything is possible. And you just have to imagine that they're going to throw everything at this last few ruck contests and last few contests around the ground. Will Laverton?
They don't get many chances to win games, Laverton. They've got one here. They might as well go for it from the restart. Binek at ground level helped it up towards Williams. He kicks the Titans up towards half forward. Hobson Sudokus waited down and took the mark on the 50. Open 50 ahead. Finds a teammate. It's Braden May. And he's marked about 30 metres out directly in front, and now he will have the chance to finish it off.
I feel like we've said it about 4 or 5 times in this last quarter. That's just the nature of this back and forth game, which it has been all afternoon. You imagine May will take as much time as quite possible.
He kicked the last of the first half. Could he kick what might be the last of the game? Directly in front, Braden May has missed, but it could be a valuable miss. It's another addition to the score. 11 points the margin. 10-13, 73, 9-8, 62. Over 27 minutes from the kick-in. Mulroy ran his full measure, kicks wide and long and finds Chol. They've got to make every post a winner here. Chol, his kick is almost intercepted by Simic, but he helped it over towards Nawi. They've got it back to Titans. Nawi over towards Hobson. Here they come again, inside the 50. Back there doing well was Westick, brought it to ground. Now on all fours, he tunnel balls it forward. Burgess arriving late. So too Jenkins. Stacks on the mill, and it comes out of the pack. They might win it yet, the Titans. Killander, kick towards goal. It's across the face. But it does make it a 2-goal game.
Important point.
And that might be enough. Kick in now. Mulroy goes long to half-back, finds Burgess. Offhand to the running Ekbal. Right in front of us. He chips in board.
I just need to go.
And he finds Suzaka. There's the siren. A terrific afternoon of Division 3 football. And it's the home side who hang on. Tarneit defeat a defiant, a persistent, a determined Laverton by 2 goals. 10-14-74 to Laverton 9-8-62.